I grew up in a small mountain town, literally surrounded by woods and swampy areas and a bunch of lakes, so you could say it was the perfect place for creepy shit to be happening all the time. I'm gonna share one, maybe more than one story from that town. Be me like 7 or 8. Live in an apartment building near cemetery and hospital. Yeah, the cemetery was literally 2 minutes away from hospital, both were in the woods. Go to sleep one evening after parents. Fuck yes, I'm a grown-up. Put on pajamas and make bed. Bedroom window faces woods. Dark as fuck but somewhat calm. Keep looking at forest before hitting the sack. Look at time. 11:45 a.m.-ish, don't really remember. Not really sleepy, but know that parents will be angry if they found me up so late. Decide to finally lay in bed. One last glance at woods. What the fuck? See 3 figures in woods, clearly not lights. More what the fuck. Stare in their direction until figuring out what it is. My face went people, but really pale. Almost transparent. It's silent around so I can hear them moan and kinda hum. I guess, not sure what that sound was. Fucking weird nude people on drugs, I assume. Go to sleep. Wake up next morning, nothing weird anywhere. Go to school, tell classmates. And on, you crazy. Never speak of that again until 10 years later. Be 10 years later. Chilling with homies when one says, let's tell scary stories. Homie numero dos goes, I know one that's real and happened in town. Go ahead, homie dos. He then proceeds to tell a story that back then got me fucked up. So, the hospital in town has 2 underground floors and you can reach one of them with one of the elevators. Basically, floor 1 is morgue and floor 2 is the vivisection floor. What the fuck is vivisection, homie number 1? It's when they operate on living, conscious people, experimenting on them and shit. Lol, homie, you silly. Keep listening. So the story goes that back in the day, like 15 to 20 years ago, people in town went missing. No one knew why, and no one spoke of it. Then soon after, some kids found a weird tunnel coming out of the hospital into the middle of the woods. People went to see, and it was all abandoned hospital equipment and empty hospital beds. Later they realized it was the vivisection room. Homie 2 proceeds to describe the room. Nothing intriguing, so I'll get to the point. They were performing experiments on people. They had taken their eyes out, cut their ears off, kept them in the dark for months, maybe years. Eventually, 3 of those people they were experimenting on escaped and were never found again. They are said to be really pale, almost transparent. People have seen them in the woods around town, and they say that they can only scream, moan, and hum. They don't speak. Fuck you, homie 2, that's not true. Whatever, man. It's what many people are saying around town since forever. I say nothing more. Creeped the fuck out because I never told anyone about the white men group, and yet homie 2 knew all about it. Fucking shit can't be true. Fast forward 1 week-ish. Go to hospital with homie. Homie needs to take the elevator. Remember that 1 elevator takes you to secret floor goodness. Get into all elevators, like 4 in total I guess. 1 has 2 unmarked buttons underneath the basement button. Here we go. Push buttons. Nothing. Wait a bit, then push them again. Nothing. See homie's doctor and ask him about morgue. The hospital does not have a morgue. Okay. Go to elevator 1 last time. Push button. Surprise, surprise, nothing. Fucking hell, homie 2 was lying. Later at grandma's house. Ask grandma about white people. Fucking hell, she tells me to never speak about that. Says it was probably someone just having fun, not being harmful. They were fucking naked. My face when, grandma is a shell. Leave grandma's place. Spend the next 2 years looking for whites around woods, but nothing. Walk into abandoned military tunnels around woods, still nothing. Leave it, and just decide to be spooked forever about it. I have stories about abandoned military tunnels, weird figures and lights in the woods, a mass animal grave, and a story of the buttload of dog bones. We'll share more if anyone is interested. Some backstory before I start with spooks. The building I lived in was literally across the street from the woods. It was my house, and then a street, and then the woods. At night it was pretty creepy, but my best friend had it worse because he lived down the same street, but on the other side of it. So pretty much, his building was in the woods, so he and I both experienced some spooks together. Mass animal grave, here we go. Be me and best mate. Both be 15 to 16. Walk around woods at around 7:30 p.m. We spent a big portion of our childhood and our teen years looking these woods, looking for shit, and just generally walking around. Walk near a big water pipe that was going through the forest. We usually go there to hang out, smoke and drink there. Be about 100 to 130 meters away from pipe. Smell hits my nose with the force of Old Spice Double Sun. Fucking what the fuck is that? Dead animal or some shit. Walk about 70 more meters and holy shit. A mass grave of dead animals in middle of woods. Like 30 to 40 dead animals in there. Go back to get some sort of face masks. Pussies. Go back with cheap ass face masks. No help with smell. Whatever, fuck it. Mate goes into pit with animals to poke them with stick. Fucking idiot pokes them with a stick for 15 minutes. Gets bored and gets out. Head back to town and call up our mates. Tell them what happened. No one believes us, so we get flashlights. It's dark at this point, and we want to go there as soon as possible. We head to woods, and smell is even stronger at this point. Get to the pit, and felt like even more animals were there than before. Not possible because late, and we never saw anyone go there. Look around and tell mates to go, cause whoever did this is all sorts of crazy. Go back to town, everyone fucked up. Tell even more people about it the next day. Fast forward like 17 hours. Go to woods with more people. Go to grave location. What? No smell, no animals. Hole is there, but it's empty, and there is no blood. Everyone is laughing at this point. No one believes us. No grave there ever since. We still speak about that sometimes. Some mates say it happened. Some of the mates who were there say that they're not sure if it was really there or not, and this one guy says that there was nothing there. Well, I know what we saw, and it was weird as fuck. Let's do abandoned military tunnels. Around my town live many groups of people who make a living from stealing metals and other things that can be sold. TVs, car radios, fridges, literally anything. Near my building in my hometown, there's free entrances to military tunnels that we use like bomb shelters and defense against enemy forces, I guess. We started exploring them as kids, and then it gets interesting. Be me and mates, 13 years young. Hey, let's go to the tunnels. Be in front of tunnels, flashlights in hand. Walk in. Cell phones lose coverage because tunnels are literally going through a large hill. Walk in. Fucking cold, dark and humid. Walls covered in weird writing, names of people and numbers. All done with spray paint, so we think nothing of it. We barely notice it. Walk further in. No outside light at this point. Ground is soft for some reason. Shine flashlight on ground, it's covered in black. What is black? Ask mate if he knows what the black shit is. Probably some carpets. What? Keep walking, more soft ground. Shine light at ceiling. Walls are fucking tall as shit. Pipes going through ceiling. Someone asks, what's in the pipes? Pipes are for air coming from the outside. They used pipes to distribute air through the whole thing. If you follow the pipes, they will lead you out through the secret exit where the air was coming from. Walk into a room. Room is wider than any other room in the whole fucking place. Ground covered in black dirt and what looked like human shit. Shine flashlights on walls, a lot of writing on the walls. Again, some names, some numbers. One wall says Area 51.2 and has some weird symbols written on with coal. Why coal though? Wall across from entrance of room has a huge altar-like shit drawn on it. Many letters and numbers that don't make sense. Okay, that's enough. Before I can say anything, someone goes, "Hey, Anand, let's get out." Okay, let's do it. On our way out, we hear loud banging, like someone's banging on the walls in the other room. What the fuck? No one else with us in there or out. No one knows we're there. Shine light back where we came from. Nothing. Keep walking forward. Big hole in ground just before exit. Some sort of trap, I guess, cause you can't really see it unless you've fallen in it before or someone told you about it. Homie 1 jumps over hole. I'm next. Jump and hear a loud scream coming from inside tunnels. Homie 2 is last to jump. Jumps and we boot it. Run outside of tunnels and head to town through the woods. Call another mate to meet us with some sort of weapon. The idiot is waiting with a stick. I repeat, a fucking stick. Like he can fight Huma Droom McShitterson with a fucking stick, whatever that means. Nothing was chasing us. Mate did not believe us. Rewinding a few years earlier, in the middle of winter. Be me 10 to 11 years old, walk around woods with mates midday. Fucking tunnels dark and spoopy as all hell, probably because all dark in the otherwise snowy woods. A dog dying in front of tunnel, not even inside. Dog all bloody and howling at nothing. As we pass, dog dies. Many spooky shit has happened in those tunnels, and still some people use them to fuck in there. These stories don't end with us being chased by shadow people or demons or anyone being possessed. It's just spooky and weird shit that's happened to me and my mates. Not RP, so nothing movie-like will happen. Should I go on? If yes, next story is grave in middle of woods, plus tombstone shifting. Grave in middle of woods. Be me and mates, 16 to 17-ish. We were all pretty much the same age, and we were doing the whole forest explore phase around this time. Walk uphill a bit, not using the stairs that lead to the top, but going through the thickest part. Walk midway uphill and notice something stone-like. Go to check it out. First mate says it's a tombstone. Yeah, right. Me and another mate go closer. Shit, it is a tombstone. One mate who is not from town says that's normal because graveyard is in the same forest. Yeah, like 5 kilometers away from here. No one would drag a tombstone to this place because the graveyard is near. Plus, you'd have to go through the whole forest to drag that here. Tombstone is old-timey. Writing on it is old-timey. Read something like, "Here lies forever the body of, insert female name and last name here. Don't remember her name. That face went no middle name. What? Tombstone kinda stuck in ground. We can't move it. Decide to mark it with sticks and rope so we can come back. Mark the whole scene like the fucking CSI Miami. Go on exploring more of that part of the woods. Weird creepy ass field of flowers in middle of area, full of huge trees. Everything else is lit but the field flower area. Scenery looks creepy cause flowers growing in shadows. Decide to call up more people. Tell them about the shit we found. Tombstone, not flowers. We used to call each other whenever we found creepy shit in or around town so that we can check it out. Many a time, the creepy shit had disappeared before we could get to it. Tell mates where to meet us. They show up to lowest point of woods and we take them up to Tombstone spot. Get up there and Tombstone has shifted about 3 to 4 meters away from where it was. Now, remember how it was halfway stuck in the ground and 3 of us could not move it? Yeah, it shifted on its own. Start digging around, looking for a grave. Remember that shit is old-timey and the grave could be long gone. Go back to town. Mate's house. Check him. Mate's grandma is there. She's lived there pretty much her whole life. Straight up ask her about graves and woods behind their building. Say she's heard stories of people getting buried there a long time ago because they did not deserve to be put in a regular graveyard. Didn't deserve? Say she can't explain it better than that. She does not know how. We tell her about Tombstone and how it shifted. Says the old tombstones had been moved from there so kids don't get spooked. Yeah, no, it was there twice. Says it's probably a tombstone that was covered in dirt and they did not move it when they were moving all the other ones. Fuck that shit. We went back there sometime later and there was nothing there. They could have moved it or something, but nothing, not even plants were there. Or maybe we had the wrong location, but I am pretty sure we knew exactly where to go, and there was nothing there. Okay, so I'm gonna do Death Lake, and then I'm gonna do Lights in the Woods. Lake death stories are true around my town, and all of them are tragic, obviously, but one of them is chilling. I don't know if it's a local urban legend or a true story, but I've heard it from 2 different people, exactly the same way. Anyway, here goes. There was a woman in town. A really sweet old woman from what I've heard. People loved her. She loved people, and her life was pretty much okay, like we'd love to have her life. Only problem was she could not have kids, and doctors kept telling her there's nothing wrong with her or her husband. They just could not have kids for some reason. So as I said, there are some people who live around my town, and this woman apparently went there to seek help. Now, no one knows what those people did to her or what they gave her, but she got pregnant within a month after going to them. Fast forward 9 months or so. Baby is out all good and alive and healthy. They release the woman a bunch of days after she has the baby, and being all happy, she takes the baby home. As night came, I guess she put the baby in the crib and went to sleep, but then in the middle of the night, she woke up to find the baby had been gone, and she had no idea where it was. Anyway, as time went by, baby was not found, and the woman decided to call it quits. There's this artificial lake thing, where they clean and recycle water or some shit. I have no idea. It's really creepy there at night, and it's got those pump things on the bottom. Many people have went swimming in that lake. Many, I mean like 3 people. But that's a lot for such a small town, and have died there, being sucked down by the pumps. So, the woman decided that she had enough misery in her life after her happiness had been taken away from her so soon. She went up to the lake late at night when they turned the pumps on, and she jumped, got to the middle of the lake, and just waited there for the fucking pumps to turn on so that they could suck her down to the bottom. So far the story is real, and then the urban legend started. People started saying you can still hear her at night scream for her child, and she will come for your child if you leave it in the crib the first night after you come home from the hospital. That's bullshit, of course, but the story itself is creepy. The creepiest being, of course, that her child fucking disappeared in the middle of the night without a trace. Let's do lights in the woods. This one happened to my mates. I was abroad when the whole deal happened to them and couldn't be there for it. Be my friends in a hot summer night. Go out to the woods to make a bonfire and eat some grilled meat. They are in different woods. Not the ones with the tombstone, tunnels, graveyard, but all the way across town, the woods of Death Lake. Get there, sun's still up. Prepare everything, gather wood, start fire. All going well until they hear something fall in the area with trees. Fuck you, no. Best mate goes to check. A massive fucking branch fell off a tree for no apparent reason, just because. Branch wasn't dead or dry, so why did it fall? Friend thinks who was firm. More like why did it fall? Takes branch to fire, because free branch, yay. After they put branch on fire, they start noticing lights in the distance. They try to take pics of lights, only 1 or 2 good ones. They say they started hearing weird noises coming from sound direction. Not bothered by those apparently, still ate meat and drank beers. I come back some months later. Tell me all about that. Holy fuck, that's creepy, but good thing there's pics for me to see. Fucking best shit ever that happened, and I missed it. I'm gonna be sharing some of the pictures of the place they were at, and some pictures of the lights. First pic is literally not even 100 meters away from Death Lake. Number 7. Suicide family. Be me, live near woods with all my friends near me. Know a guy who lives 1 block away from me. Kid is dumb and is held back in school like 3 years in a row. Nothing wrong with that. We don't hang with him, so we don't give a flying fuck about that. Father of kid is white, mother is Romani, and they have like 5 kids in total or something like that. Family is shit poor, so they push their youngest children around in a shopping cart, not a stroller. Father works temporarily for people, chopping wood, carrying heavy shit. A genuine down-to-earth guy with a drinking problem. Mother is unemployed. Oldest kid is dumb kid who got held back. Second oldest is a girl, pretty sure the family used her as a slave. Middle kid is I think a boy, only one who can still be seen around. 2 youngest are twins, boy and a girl. They said someone killed them. Years go by, and everyone is making fun of family. People point fingers at them. Bullies beating down held back Skelter for some reason. 4 to 5 years ago, held back kid found dead in family house attic, hanging from the ceiling. Father found dead in woods out of town, took his own life. Mother nowhere to be seen. 2 twins found dead, no one knows why. Second oldest child, the girl, found dead at home, thought to have taken her own life. I honestly don't know if they died or left. People could only really recognize the boy of the held back kid. The rest were deformed, and no one knew whether or not they were people from this family or just random people. Also, they found them over the span of a few years, not all at once. So, people in town like to grow their own vegetables and shit like that, and often they grow corn, and sometimes we steal corn from them and cook it on a bonfire. Anyway, here is corn thief gone wrong. Be me, old enough to know better than to steal corn. Be out in woods with mates. Start a fire. Oh shit, we want corn. No problem. Me and 3 other mates go to get corn. Anon, don't you need money for corn? No, we are gonna steal it from someone. Get to field all the way across town to steal corn. Flashlights in hand, cause it's almost midnight. Cars passing by, so we lay low in grass and wait for cars to go away. Look around the field. No dogs, no people. 2 friends keep watch. Me and a mate go in. Start stuffing our hoodie pockets with whole corns, cobs of corn. Stuffing like the end of the world is yesterday. I fucking look pregnant with corn babies at this point. Turn around to leave and see friend frozen in corn. Shut up and on. Look around. See nothing. Hear a noise from inside of cornfield. Damn it, not a dog. Please, not a dog. Also, please, not a man with gun. Get low to look for paws/feet. Nothing. Hear growling from behind me. Turn around quickly, but nothing there. Look at a mate, then run with the force of 1,000 suns out of there. Mates outside see us all scared and start laughing. We tell them what happened and that they should run. I throw away most corn because I am not a corn exporter. Thing did not catch us, but mate and I both heard it growl, and we never saw a dog. Still had enough corn for everyone at the end of it all. Stealing corn is bad, and you should not do it. I used to be a security guard for the Vancouver film industry. One very popular filming location is a mental institution. Riverview or Riverside, I can't remember now. Anyways, you have seen this place. Untold stories of the ER, Deadpool 2, the orphanage, grave encounters, etc. The thing is, all of the places in grave encounters are basically just like the movie. There is literally a long, dark, underground tunnel that they would use to transport patients and shit through when the place was active. It's super creepy. Also, as a side note, it was where hydroshock therapy was developed in Canada, and they were using it on veterans from one of the world wars. Patients were back in the day treated terribly, but before its closing, it was a modern medical, psychiatric facility. So, this place was literally beautiful during the day. They brought plants and trees and flowers from all over the world to help the patients calm and for outdoor therapy. So much so that my first day shifts there, I would wander about the grounds a little bit and go through the buildings. Oh, I forgot to mention that this place is pretty big. Bigger than the university campus I went to, with several buildings and many main patient facilities. On my first night shift, nothing. Second, nothing. All these nights I work there, nothing happens. Some of the other guards say they don't like it, or they get a bad feeling, but I loved it there. One hot summer night, I see a June bug for the first time. They aren't common in BC, but I imagine it's because there may be a colony living there that got brought with the trees or flora back in the day. Not too weird. Then they started dive bombing me, like 6 or 7 of them. I was a little grossed out, but I took a picture and sent it to my wife to figure out what they were, and in that time, I smacked and killed one. Called her on the phone all amused and was like, holy fuck, the other ones are eating it. She told me they don't eat bugs and sounded worried, but sure enough, these motherfuckers were mowing their fallen compadre. It was gross. They swarmed it like piranhas, but I did not think much of it. I got in my car and did up the windows. That night, the motion sensors in the building flipped on lights almost my entire 12-hour shift. Like, not even in sequence. Like someone was walking from one place to another. Like, top left, bottom right, middle floor. It seemed random at the time, but now I wish I knew Morse code back then, or recorded it, because shit got crazy. Weeks later, I go inside the building at night to do a round, and holy fuck. Nothing happened, except that my skin and butthole puckered up, like I was about to fight lubed up gay Satan. like something was watching me and breathing on my neck, and I had to fight or flight right fucking now. For no reason. I remember the anxiety I felt at that time today, and like someone poured dry ice into my veins. Goosebumps on my skin so bad it almost hurt. Like every part of me was screaming that something was wrong. I remember going outside to like a beautiful hot summer night and asking myself out loud what the fuck was wrong with me, and thinking that maybe that's why some of our guards hated working there. And away we go. Now at night, I can see things in the corner of your vision. They move and sliver and dart away from my flashlight. Some nights going inside the building, I have waves of like bad vibes. Just sadness or that cold fight or flight feeling, which by the way, now happens outside the building occasionally. I always tell myself I'm an adult and to get a fucking grip, but this shit is like non-stop. I always keep my flashlight on because lights will fail in rooms that I am about to walk into, or I'm already in. Old building, I tell myself, but looking back, this shit is targeted, like waiting until the door closes, and then turning off, working seconds later or the next time I come through. Doors are slamming down hallways I am not in. There is disembodied whispering, miserable moans, barely audible. I no longer like coming to work. I put myself through this, literally telling myself I had to, because I had to overcome my fear of it. Be an adult, or I would tell myself there was no ill intent at least, by whatever was going on in that place. Then one night, I stopped going in at all, stayed in my car, and just watched the building while I listened to comedy on Slacker radio. Full bars and good reception and everything, and I am getting the moaning that sounds so fucking similar to what I heard inside. It freaked me out. Then after a couple nights of this, it goes fucking apeshit. In the middle of some stand-up comedian's joke, it abruptly starts. Screaming, tons of voices like men bellowing in pain and sorrow, women wailing and shrieking, children sobbing, but it all sounds like bad static, but at the same time, completely distinguishable as what it is. I ripped the earbuds out and started tearing up. I was a grown man at this point, but I don't think I've ever cried in fear before. Part of it was so fucking jarring, and part of it was sheer terror, but I actually could not believe it happened. Like, I actually was in denial of it happening to me within seconds of the earbuds coming out, and it stopped. I didn't actually want to believe what I had heard. I didn't want to ever hear that sound again, and I did not want it to be real. I could tell myself in that moment that it was just static, and if I put my earbuds back in and it didn't happen, it was over, and it wasn't real. P.S. I was listening over data on a cell phone. I don't know how they work, but I don't think they can actually get static now. So I put my fucking earbuds back in, like a fucking moron. All this is happening in like 10 seconds, and I literally have like tears in my eyes, and my hands are shaking, like fucking daring the shit not to happen, so that it will all be in my head. And my comedy is back. Just regular shit, the joke is finishing, and then it happens again, and I pull the headphones out, and it's coming out of my phone speaker too, and my blood is so fucking cold. Just typing the story out is giving me anxiety, man. I'm probably not going to sleep tonight now. And I closed Slacker radio, and it kept going. And I panic, and hold down the power button on my phone. Screen goes black, phone powers off, and it kept going. It smells horrible in my car now for some reason. I can't even describe it, but acrid, and like rotting garbage, and it stings my nostrils. I fumble with the battery and remove it. The fucking sound stops. I call my wife in hysterics. She calmed me down. I know I scared the piss out of her. She had never heard me scared like that before, and honestly, I have not been scared like that since. I remember getting out of the car with her on the phone, because I literally had to move. I can't explain why, but I felt like I had to get far away, and being trapped in the car was dangerous, like my primitive brain was just screaming run on repeat. Back to the sound. Some people are probably reading this and thinking like, what a pussy or whatever, but it was hell, man. Like literally. I had never heard the biblical definition as a place of great weeping and gnashing of teeth, but it fits perfectly. I heard hell, and it felt like something completely alien was trying to show me, like, rub my nose in it. There was just a lingering intent in the whole situation for me when I experienced it. I felt hatred and contempt being channeled at me, and like something was lifting the curtain to show me its fucking work. Just pure dread and pain and agony, and it makes me sick to remember it, a cacophony of suffering. I should mention I am not religious, and after this, it was about the closest I ever came to becoming religious. Once I was calmed down enough to be in control, I opened the car door and poked my head in. The smell was gone, and I got in, and I pulled the vehicle as far away from the building as I could, and chain smoked the rest of my shift in silence, or on the phone with my wife. She also worked. Now, the last part is the most fucked. I drove home from the shift and went to bed, and my wife shook me awake, fucking furious. Why would you do that? What the fuck is wrong with you? And I, confused and half asleep, was like, what is your problem? What? Like, actually what? She told me later she was so mad because she wanted to laugh or be like, got you, or whatever, but was angry out of fear. When she realized I actually had no idea what she was talking about, she went white as a sheet and told me I had to come look at something. I basically said like, fuck off, I have to get back to sleep, but she persisted, and once I was awake enough to realize she was sincerely terrified, I followed her to the carport. Did you do this? She demanded, sounding pissed again, and pointing at the rear passenger side window of the car we shared for work. There was a 6-fingered handprint that was like super dirty on the window with fingers that were way too long. I remember I instantly tried to rub it off, and I was about to get angry at her when I looked, and she was still fucking scared. I love my wife. She is not a good liar, and she has never had a reason to. We have only ever spoken about this a few times, and she has never been comfortable with it. I know that she did not make the handprint. Back to rubbing it off. It didn't come off. Did someone you work with do this? I was alone last night, you know that. While she was basically demanding that I admit to making the fucking creepy ass handprint, I realized it was inside the car. Like, something put its hand on the window from behind me inside my car, and I had a mini panic attack again, just imagining what the fuck would leave something like that. We cleaned it off, and the crud on the paper towel smelled like sewage and rotting acrid bullshit, and I could not leave it in the garbage. At this point, we were both fucking crazy together, with like anxiety and fear over what the fuck happened, and I knew she believed me. So we burnt the paper towel in the backyard, and she called in sick and stayed with me while I got some sleep, and tried not to go fucking insane over what had happened. I never went near the buildings again.